Get stable. I am not a speedrun essayist. The sheer amount of work, of research, of brainstorming you need to do to talk about speedrun breakthroughs and incredible grinds that paid off is intimidating to say the least. But what I am is a storyteller. But the story I'm going to share today has been a long time coming. The story of two new speedrunners whose rivalry led them to feats they never saw themselves accomplishing, and who witnessed a change that reignited the run category as they knew it. The one time I truly tried to shut off my humanity and optimize a game as if I were a machine, where my competitive edge brought me great rewards and where my own mental tried to bring me down trying, but I'd prove it wrong every single time. The leaderboard has one world record, but every position tells a story. This is speedrunning.
Oh shit! Yo, motherfucker, let's go! I ain't fucking done yet, let's fucking go!
Okay, rolling.
Oh, it's been peaceful here in the
For my 7th birthday, I received 2 games for my PlayStation 1, and one of them would become a franchise with an iconic character that would become peak 90s nostalgia, a platformer that would go on for a short time to rival what Sonic was to Sega and what Mario was to Nintendo, a platformer that followed many into adulthood. Wait, sorry, I think I'm actually describing the other game I received for my 7th birthday, Bubsy 3D. My mistake. The other game would go on to become a franchise with an iconic character that would become peak 90s nostalgia. A platformer that would go on for a short time to rival what Sonic was to Sega.
If someone tries to touch you in a place or in a way that makes you feel uncomfortable,
Or what Mario was to Nintendo. A platformer that followed many into adulthood. The PS1 masterpiece, Spyro the Dragon. Spyro is not a perfect game. It's glitchy, it's dated, it's awkward, it's clunky, the voice acting is...
Thank you for releasing me!
Yeah. But in true favorite game fashion, Spyro is truly special to me for what it is. A flawed masterpiece that thrives in its atmosphere more than anything else, with an absolutely banging soundtrack that I still cherish to this day, and a game that ultimately guided me through the worst chapter of my life thus far. This is not a Spyro review. This is how PS1 Purple Dragon game rated E for everyone had more impact on my life than a lot of other things. This is the story about my journey into the world of speedrunning.
Really well. That does actually go towards a PB pace.
Speedrunning is a complicated hobby to grasp if you aren't a person who can wrap your mind around the idea of replaying a game thousands of times to beat it as fast as possible. There's a reason I do not recommend speedrunning to just anybody, and that's because speedrunning is hard. You don't try to speedrun a game and immediately expect to get good at it. You speedrun for the same reason you shoot with a manual focus exclusively, or learn the lyrics to It's the End of the World as We Know It. Because there's something to be accomplished, there's a challenge, a feeling of overcoming, a means by which to wear yourself with pride, because it is difficult. And at the end of 2019, I needed something. So I selected a game I thought I was good at, Spyro the Dragon, and I watched the world record run, a 38:31 set by Chris LBC in summer 2018. And, you know, apart from the wild tricks and the sequence breaks, my first reaction was, I think I can do that. And from that day, a goal to shoot for was born. Not exactly world record, but I would just go as far as this will take me, to get me through the shit going on in my life. Setting goals and vowing to chase them whilst bending the intended rules of the game, this is speedrunning. I've gone on record saying that if I never became a furry, I'd have been a speedrunner. And at the end of 2019, I almost saw that through. So right before the beginning of COVID, my life was a hot mess. I was the worst version of myself during this time, not to mention I had just gotten broken up with and had gotten laid off from my dream job. And with all that said, I was presented with a familiar crossroads. One that takes us back to the year 2008. So it was the middle of the night. I had 2 separate PCs. On one of them I would farm bail runs in Diablo II in order to try and level my character up to 99, the maximum possible. These would be all-night rituals. Anyone who has ever played Diablo II with a high-level tune would understand. Anyways, these tedious late-night grinds would leave me with a spare monitor to do other things on, just, as a distraction between runs. Writing fan fiction, watching bootleg movies, and of course, watching things on YouTube. In 2008, I watched Chizo Man's former 2-hour and 26-minute Ocarina of Time world record, all 25 or so parts of it, while leveling my druid in Diablo II. And to say I was impressed would be too small a word. My jaw dropped at what felt to me like genius sequence breaks in order to create a whole new path to take within the context of the game. It felt like a whole new adventure I was watching. I was so impressed by it, I even plugged up my N64 and began to learn some of the tricks. Infinite Sword, Bombchu Hover, Bomb Hover, and Super Slide were some of the ones I managed to achieve with a little practice. I also eventually performed the Gerudo Gate Jump with the Cuckoo after about 30 or so minutes of grinding. Couldn't navigate the desert without the Poe though. But this series of events coincided with another, finding the furry fandom. Ultimately, as fate would have it, the next year I opened up socially to the fandom and it became my calling. But I always wondered what could have been had I sought out that other path, especially after the rise of a runner named Narcissa Wright and her legendary 18-minute run in Ocarina of Time. And here we were at the same crossroads again. I could, a decade later, become a speedrunner and see that interest through. So I did something I never thought I'd do. I set a stopwatch on my phone and I did about 3 runs. First one was an hour 40, and then I whittled off 3 minutes down to an hour 37, and then I did another, which was an hour and 32. Then I set up a speedrun time attack program, aka a time splitter, or splitter for short, on my computer, got OBS and set up a basic HUD, and for the first time, I pushed go live. This was my first live stream, dated September 15th, 2019.
Is this a game you were thinking about speedrunning, Taru? It's a great community.
So let's analyze this run. It's slow. Those time splits, Mex. Come on. But one thing I could say about this is it's pure. It's genuine. It's someone who cared enough to set up an entire stream HUD and split timer, do research, and attempt a live Spyro run.
Time 1:27:42.
An hour, 27 minutes, and 42 seconds. First time under 90 minutes, 5th run on a timer. And the growth was starting to show. The time was consistently coming off. And I tell you, in a new speed game, you better appreciate that early phase when the time comes off easy. What starts as minutes coming off dwindles down over time to just seconds, and then eventually there simply isn't enough optimization left to take off large chunks. So on the run back, without learning exactly what a clear route is yet, I promised to integrate exactly 2 tricks and a movement technique in order to try and save time. I would do an easy trick and a hard trick specifically, and both of the tricks I chose were early game. But to explain these, I'm going to have my guest Lumilaura explain the game's fundamental mechanics.
So I'm going to operate under the assumption that you're familiar with Spyro's basic controls. Move, fling, jump, glide, charge, and roll. Roll is the bumper buttons, but are not really used in the game all that much.
You might have thought they were cool when you were a kid though.
The game can be summarized as a collectathon with milestone checks represented by these balloonists. To advance to Peacekeepers, you need to have rescued 10 dragons. To advance to Magic Crafters, you have to collect 1200 gems. These first 2 checks are completely irrelevant to the run, and Spyro anypercent becomes based on the latter 3 checks: 5 eggs to advance to Beastmakers, 50 dragons to advance to Dreamweavers, and 6000 gems to advance to Nasty's World. The first 5 worlds all contain 1 hub world, 1 flight minigame worth 300 gems if completed fully, 3 other worlds all containing their own collection of enemies, gems, dragons, and unique challenges, and 1 boss challenge, which is basically just a 4th world with a boss, which is basically just a regular enemy with extra steps, and vary in level of difficulty from meh to meh with platforming. The sixth world, Nasty's World, is unique in that it contains a very small hub world with one open portal when you arrive and 3 closed dragon heads. And all dragons are re-rescues from earlier in the game, but still count toward your total for some reason. The dragon heads, you are told, can be opened by completing the other worlds, specifically by exiting through the return home vortex. Once you do that in both North Cove and Twilight Harbor and rescue Delbin, which is the dragon in the center of the hub world, you can confront Nasty Nork. The rightmost dragon head is Nasty's Loot, which is only relevant to 100% completions of the game, and we're not going to touch on that too much here.
So the objectives are simple. Get the eggs, dragons, and gems required to access Nasty's hub world, complete the prerequisites in the hub world to enter the Nasty fight, then take down Nasty. Time begins when you gain control of Spyro and Artisans for the first time, and time ends when Nasty's death gem appears on screen. So the game becomes a route-based one where you go places with the most gems, easiest to access dragons, and quickest eggs to retrieve, all of which costing the least time possible, and unlike a bunch of other games from the era which all have like one major skip which gets you to the end game early, this game is heavily based in your movement and understanding of how the game works.
No, I got too low.
It would take a while for the concept of you need to collect things as quick as possible and as adjacent to your route as possible to fully dawn on me while I learned the mechanics of the game. So the first movement-based strategy I used was charge gliding. When Spyro jumps and you press X again into a glide, he does a little transition animation that loses him a little height. But if you charge after jumping, then immediately X into the glide, he retains the maximum height and cancels the transition animation. The first tricks I learned were this small sequence break at Town Square to allow you to access a dragon early so you can skip the lengthy backtracking around the level to access it, and this jump on Dry Canyon, which saves about 8 seconds. Spoiler alert, this is one of the hardest jumps in the run and is a frequent reset point. I did not achieve it in this run, or any run, for quite a while.
Time, 122.40.
Despite the fact that I had not been able to integrate any of the tricks effectively yet, the run still needed more. I wanted a goal time, something obtainable. So how about top 100 on the speedrun.com leaderboard? At the time, this was somewhere around the 1 hour and 3 minute range, but it's unfortunately impossible for me to track this, as a lot of runs have since been removed from speedrun.com. Next PB was a 1 hour, 14 minutes, and 20 seconds, which I do not have a recording of, but the following PB of 1 hour, 14 and 14 seconds used another new trick. This small sequence break on Stonehill, which helps you get to the second area of the level and the fourth dragon quite a bit faster than using the vanilla route would. It also attempts to use something called Toasty Wall Glide, which can be used to access Toasty without the prerequisite of having to complete another level. But this can also be used to simply shortcut over to the dragon in front of the portal. It did not work in this run though, and thus I had enough tools for my first grind to put myself on the front page of anypercent runners, and the grind began.
Oh, that was perfect. Got it. Oh my god! We got it. Finally!
Oh, you sweet summer child. This is where we turn learning into running. What separates the many who try from the few who see through the goals despite the hardship. This is where speedrunners are made, through that number. That's the number of times you've started your split timer for this run. Let's refer back to Chris LBC's 3831 from earlier. That's a lot of runs, huh? That's speedrunning. You repeat the same game over and over and over and over. And that's why I don't recommend speedrunning unless you are that kind of person. Unless you are a person who can obsess over meticulous details to make something look perfectly executed. Or unless you are willing to try to be one of the best. That type of competitive person. Competitive. It's a loaded word. My whole life, I've wanted to be a competitor in some way, pitting my skill set against someone else's. From running down the street with the dogs as a kid and pretending it was Sonic R, to obsessively replaying racing games like Gran Turismo as an adolescent, to the naive teenage dream of one day being a race car driver. Even if you're good at racing, you can't become a race car driver without money now. to the adult reality of contending for podiums and fursuit dance competitions. I am, by every sense of the word, a competitor by nature. I wanted to have a dog in this fight, have a piece of this battle for myself, and be seen as formidable. Maybe not one of the greatest ever, but a formidable force. And of course, I wanted to do something that no one else had ever done, and I wanted to earn it. In true noob fashion, I had a series of errors on this stream. No mic, and chat didn't load properly, so I didn't even know.
I've been muted the whole time. Whoops.
But if you look at the movement, it looks different than it did earlier. Focused, steady, snappier, more confident. A product of the practice that I'd put in. And again, the goal was achieved. So it moved again to a more abstract one. Top half of the anypercent leaderboard, which at the time was around a low 51 or about 68th place if my memory serves me correctly. During this time as well, I began learning 120%, which is the category that completes the whole game, and I would alternate back and forth between the categories after achieving goal times. But for sake of brevity, that will not be the focus. At this point, I just needed to bring more skill in. I needed to learn something. I watched a few different runs for this reason. A high-level run, a mid-level run somewhere in the mid-40s, I think it was actually ShempMD's run I watched, and a run which was only slightly above my current level, so I chose a 52 by Briggerman. This helped me take notes on where to go, which gems to collect, and how to approach things at a much more attainable level without having to learn high-level sequence breaks and inconsistent run-killing techniques that I simply was not ready for. And thus, the grind continued. So this is a dead run, right? Well, you remember how I said you only have to reach the exit in each of Nasty's 2 worlds? About that.
Got it. Hell yeah, got it.
This is called TN Teamwork. It's a strat found by Tuval, which gives you a massive sequence break in Nork Cove, saving you trekking through the entire level.
Got it. 59:29. 6-second PB.
This 59:29 was also my first dry canyon jump execution, and with that, another 40 to 50 seconds opened up, making my best possible time sink even lower, and I knew there was still a lot to optimize.
The thing with my route is I'm missing a couple of major skips. Some of the more difficult ones, like some advanced proxy skips, and of course the infamously hard Twilight Harbor skip.
Alright, we need to address the elephant in the room.
We did it!
I've been putting this off as long as I can. Tuval, who I mentioned a moment ago, is the person who can be credited for finding almost all the major sequence breaks in the original 4 Spyro games. He found the highly sought after Sorceress skip in Spyro 3, which shortened the run by nearly a half hour. He found Gulp skip in Spyro 2, which completed the transformation of the anypercent category of that game into a complete boss rush. He found Nasty Nork credit skip in Spyro 1, which I myself started learning around this time, and he found this skip in this stupid game that I've never played. Bubsy3D, I'm sorry I ever said anything bad about you. He was, without a doubt, one of the greatest exploit hunters in all of Spyro speedrunning. With that said, I mentioned the mechanics of the endgame. You have to rescue Delbin, then complete Nork Cove and Twilight Harbor by exiting out the return home vortices, then you can confront Nasty Nork. Well, remember that toasty dragon head?
Well, avoided that.
Turns out Nasty's portal head is just a reskin of the toasty one from Artisans, collision physics and all. That means if you can somehow get on top of the dragon mouth, you can skip right into it and thereby access the portal. The problem with the Nasty Nork hub world is this. There's no way to get bounced high enough to be able to skip through. It seemed like trying to find water in a desert, until Tuval found an oasis. This sequence break saved another 50 seconds or so, skipping the entirety of Twilight Harbor. And as expected, most of the top runs at the time used this skip. Well, except for one top 5 run. Coincidentally, this is also Tuval's PB, and is still his PB to date. So, what did he do?
What? Hello?
So about this. It saves an additional 30 or so seconds and essentially turns the run into 5 eggs, 50 dragons, 6,000 gems, kill Nasty, cutting out the entirety of the prerequisites in Nasty's hub world. This is huge. Why are more runners not using this? Coveless, as this method is called, isn't just hard. It's near impossibly precise. In fact, it's so precise, it took me 8 hours to achieve just the gliding half on a save state. So for Tuval to pull this off was either a crazy stroke of luck or a testament to his skill and understanding of the game, but it's likely a combination of both. Either way, these sequence breaks showed what was possible, but the holy grail to me would remain Twilight Harbor skip, as it was deemed the only run viable method of skipping the endgame prerequisites by most everyone in the community. I liked executing hard tricks as much as the next guy, but as it stood right now, I was still working my time down through the 50s and just needed to log runs.
Yes! 1 minute PB. There you go. Little dragon with so much potential in the world. 55:27. Gold time high caves. What is happening right now? Freaking got it. Hell yes! How did I do that? I love this game. It reminds me of my childhood. Yeah, we're not gonna get some. We're gonna get 5102. 5101. I'll take it. I'll take it. Fucking got it, man. That's what I'm fucking talking about.
Time saves became smaller, saving minutes became more about saving seconds, and movement became more natural and fluid. I started adding more and more cuts, and the goalpost kept moving. Hell, before hitting 45 minutes, I purchased a capture card setup, switching from emulator to save about 40 seconds per run in load times. My quote to my roommate as soon as COVID shut down the world was this: "Man, I'm gonna get really good at Spyro." And before long, I was moving up the leaderboards until a long grind concluding in September of 2020, alternating between 120% and 80%, found me at 44.56.
It's a 44, motherfucker.
This was but a rest stop while I went back to 120% to grind for sub 1 hour and 40 minutes. Little did I know that the next challenge I was going to face would be the single longest gaming grind I would ever do. But at this point, I thought I was good enough to do it. I wanted sub 40 in Spyro anypercent.
Yes! This is a fucking 39, baby! Yes! 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 It's over! Yes! Yes! 30!
It was time to do something truly crazy. To become the first new runner to the game to hit 39 since Chris LBC's legendary run. A run that at the time would have put me solidly in the top 10. And this is where the story truly begins.
Real true to my. Did I miss a? I missed a ring. How did I miss a ring?
Enter the mental anguish. When the run count starts to reach the 4-digit mark, and the distance in between personal bests, or PBs for short, starts to lengthen, the required tricks become harder, and all you seek looks more and more distant despite it being the smallest amount of time away that it's ever been. The toll it takes on the psyche starts to grow.
Get the fuck up there.
But you can see through to the prize on the other end, through all the struggle it takes to get you there.
4408.
This is speedrunning.
Oh my god, fuck me, dude. Holy shit, did you see that proxy? What the fuck was that?
So over the months, I had deeply integrated myself to the Spyro Speedrunning Discord server, and a particular runner whom I followed was Dayoman. He had been grinding 120% since 2014, and I jumped on his hype train as soon as I jumped into the server in mid-September 2019.
What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck, bro? Are we really serious?
It just so happened to be the day that Daoman skipped the entire hour 26 mark and went straight from hour 27 to hour 25. And for the longest time, myself, as well as the rest of his community, were waiting for the world record to happen. And after so many dead runs, so many tries, so many resets, Daoman got on this run.
Fucking go, motherfucker! It's not done. It's not over.
And this is where I caught wind of it as I was literally starting a run. Hold the fucking phone, y'all. No. We're going in there right now. He's on world record.
Let's fucking go! Oh!
And then I took Deo's energy and ran it back. I got it. 43.59. Immediately getting sub 44 the next run. Now, the other reason Deo got brought up here was to segue to this next part.
I feel like my journey is not even done yet, dude. If I get a world record sweep in this game, if I get any percent record, Rat Proxy, oh, I don't know, bro. Catch me the next.
Rat Proxy had been known about since Tuval's demonstration, as he was looking for Nasty's world skips in the mid-2010s, but was, like Covalus, deemed too non-viable for a human player to be able to execute. But that didn't stop runners like Morgan, Hummeldon, and Hopkid from exploring its potential and trying to find a setup. On June 1st of 2020, Hopkid uploaded the video that would change Spyro anypercent forever. Now, that 30 seconds of time save that seemed impossible had just become 42 seconds and was now humanly viable, if still extremely hard. And Daoman vowed that his first world record would use Rat Proxy.
So, in Spyro, to understand a proxy, you have to understand the failsafes that were programmed into the game to prevent Spyro from getting stuck. If Spyro is squeezed into a corner by an enemy hitbox, the game will bounce Spyro into the air with a large amount of force. This is called a proxy, short for the unnamed speedrun mechanic of gaining speed by proxy of another source. These mechanics are already used in Clifftown to access these 10 boxes, and this dragon without having to take the long trip around the level and over the river to access it. Rat Proxy operates the same way, just on a much smaller and more precise scale. If Spyro can play billiards with a rat, who are the only moving targets in the hot world, and have him squeeze Spyro into this corner, Spyro can fly up into the air enough to get him on top of the portal. And Hopkid found a setup that works. It's RNG dependent, it's inconsistent, but it works.
And in a practice session, I managed to execute it within a couple of hours. It was at this time that anypercent began to heat up. But I wanted 39 first. I didn't care if Deo was now a Spyro record holder, I wanted to beat him. Rivalries motivate me to keep improving. 57. They ensure I appreciate the smallest victories. Weeks apart, hundreds of dead runs apart. The small victories are what you hold dear. They drive you, because you know what lies on the other end of the battle will be worth it in the end.
Let's go. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go, bitch! Come on, motherfucker! Let's go! New world record, bitch!
The landscape of anypercent changed forever with this world record. This was the new meta, and not long after, Daoman became the first runner to ever achieve a 37-minute time. But as the category started to change, so did my own meta.
Oh! Fuck me! Let's fucking go, man! Let's fucking go! Yes!
Maybe I couldn't beat Deo at my current level. That's over 6 years of experience versus my 1.5 years. But I could set the bar for up-and-coming runners. I could be the best new runner to this category. I mean, I was already top 20 on the leaderboard. All I needed was...
You're fucking kidding me! Rat Proxy, bitch! Oh my god.
I did it. Second person to ever PB off Rat Proxy. The bar was set. and now it was time to keep heightening it.
You're joking. Like, it's that easy.
It was time for me to be the best and set the example for others to follow.
Eyebolt07 as they run Spyro the Dragon.
What's up, guys? I've been running this since September of 2019, and I've become quite addicted. Do I go ahead and start now? Because you have to kind of really depend on the rat. Where the rat goes is kind of... I'm about to have a heart attack.
He just got it. I think we might have lost audio for both there for a couple seconds, but he just got the Rat Proxy.
And the wins kept coming. Now, some would tell you this is only the first Rat Proxy executed in a marathon by technicality, since the marathon was virtual due to COVID. But I'm going to wear this as a badge of honor. Through all my heartbreak, the self-doubt, the anger, the frustration, I kept seeing it through. And I was truly becoming an elite runner of this game. It was now summer 2021, and for the first time in a long time, I wasn't alone in this category anymore. Let's take a look down the leaderboard. Shout out to Max Trigga and Inferno, of course, who gave me a run for my money at one point, but let's look a little further down. Ah yes, Laura. For the next 8 months, this name would keep me on my toes.
Hi, me again, Laura. I started speedrunning Spyro in 2020, no more than a year after Eyebolt. My first ever run was a 103, followed by a 101, then I would spend the majority of my free time in 2020 whittling that down to the 49 mark before juggling my retail job amidst peak COVID lockdowns. Spyro speedrunning for me at this point was a coping mechanism from a particularly nasty event that had just happened in my life, so the process of improving at the game felt like healing. It kept me going and gave me something to strive for in a time that felt especially hopeless. I wish I had any recollection of my particular approach to learning the game. It all felt quite automatic. I do recall that I had a lot of trouble breaking past the 50-minute barrier and into 49 though. I got through the 40s pretty easily after that, until making my way down to a 42 in April of 2021.
Yes!
Now, Laura was nearly 2 minutes behind me at this point, so I had a safety net, for now. I would just need to keep moving forward if I wanted to keep her behind me, but she had high goals. She was also seeking my goal of 39 and hell, possibly further. This was our first Discord exchange, by the way. But my route at this point, like, what did my speedruns even look like now? What tricks was I missing? Well, none of them. But finished runs were becoming quite rare, competitive paces even rarer. Let's lay out what the run looks like now. Artisans has the Stonehill wall jump, which is a common and relatively painless reset point, if a little annoying. Then you'd follow that up with the momentum jump in Town Square to hop the wall, not a particularly hard one to pull off once you get a good setup for it. Then Kotosi wall glide, which I was actually quite consistent at this point. But then, 4 minutes into the run, you access Peacekeepers, which has a trifecta of bullshit run killers within the next 4 minutes. This jump, which is probably the most common reset point for high-level runners. Then Clifftown has Mama Proxy, which I'd finally nailed a good setup for and was decently consistent. Then you do this bullshit jump outside of Dr. Shemp. At this point, less than 20% of runs survive, and less than half of those executing all 6 of those major tricks flawlessly. But then, after that, we have Magic Crafters, where I would lose so many runs, with High Caves the clear standout with a strategy known as Bite Caves. This trick consists of holding the supercharge through the entire High Cave system all the way over to the fireworks chests in the room across the bridge. Most surviving runs to this point would lose the supercharge early and take a massive gem penalty. Then the game just gets harder. The pinpoint precision and tiny hitboxes of the enemies in Blowhard, the ridiculous enemy gauntlet of Misty Bog, the never-ending supercharge of Treetops. Oh yeah, Treetops has a stupid trick too. It's called Stone Knot. It's a precise landscape jump with a supercharge to access this area early. But then you have the tight platforming of Beastmaker's Homeworld, Dreamweaver's Homeworld, and Jacques, and after all this, you have to be at 6,000 gems or higher. But imagine after all that, you get every trick, you get all the gems you need, and you're running a good pace, You now have to face off against the game's true end boss, Dorito the Rat as Daoman named him. A trick that was found to be anywhere from 2 to maybe 4% consistent on a good day. You just executed an immaculate run for a 2% chance of an even PBing at all. Rat Purgatory was real.
Okay, shut up, shut your mouth.
The odds of Rat Proxy working were just something you couldn't rely on at all. Anypercent very quickly became a game of pushing your Dreamweaver's exit time and hoping for the best.
Whatever, we'll just get a first try right. See? Suck my fucking dick! I am the best at this game!
My 4154 stood tall for a long time because of it. I wasn't cut out for Twilight Harbor skip, so running against a first try Rat Proxy meant I was missing out on an entire minute and a half of time save every single run. It kept my progress locked down for a long time.
Over the months, Laura and I would do runs consistently, and while our rivalry was fierce,
That's what I want to know.
the way we pushed each other was irreplaceable.
That's it, motherfucker. Let's go. That's it, motherfucker. Let's go. Got it. That is the last minute marker I'll ever cross before hitting fucking 39, motherfucker. Let's go.
And wouldn't you know it, PBs sometimes would be months apart. What was holding us both back, we came to realize, was Rat Proxy. And while sometimes you'd hit a jackpot,
amazing. My fucking god. Yo, motherfucker, let's go. Yo, motherfucker, let's go. I ain't fucking done yet, let's fucking go.
it was so close, yet still so far away. And the mental taxation we were placing on ourselves to robot the game with maximum efficiency was heavy, to say the least. Could either of us really do this?
Eyebolt and I very quickly found that the best way to improve was to have someone doing exactly what you're trying to do, but better. Having a parallel to learn from and adapt to is one of the most motivating and helpful things to have in any competitive hobby, and it certainly worked out for us both.
So during this time, I determined by math the benchmark of how fast you would have to complete Dreamweavers and enter Nork Nexus for a 39 to be possible. One would have to execute everything up to the Dreamweaver's Balloonist in 38 minutes and 25 seconds or quicker. 38:25 being borderline and requiring a good first try rat and a perfectly optimized Nasty Nork level. At this point though, I had never had a run that good. But on September 28th, 2021, I had this run.
Has to be instant rat. Yeah, no.
It wasn't meant to be. It would have to wait. By the way, take note of the run counter, because it's about to go up. A lot.
The self-doubt definitely started to kick in pretty hard here, but a PB for one of us felt like a PB for us both. If either one of us made a step forward, it was proof that the other could do it too.
Regardless, the final pieces were in place, and I was ready to Rat Proxy my way to a 39, and I was ready to lose a lot of runs doing it. On October 20th, 2021, 2 days shy of my 30th birthday, I got on the pace of my life.
I have a lot more confidence today, Wolfie, because of my 2 runs yesterday and my run today. I have a very good amount of confidence. Not saying we're gonna get it, saying we're confident that we could. Dude, what is this run? Holy fuck, this run. That's a sub 23 blowhard. What the fuck is this run? I don't deserve this level of gaming right now. And I got stone knocked. What is this run?
As I entered Rat, this was a mid-39. This was around my dozenth or so pace at Rat, but by far the best one.
Is he gonna give me the same damn cycle here, really? He is. And I think it's dead. but I can still PB it if he goes in now. Nope, he's not going in. It's okay, I lost it to RNG.
At this point, though, I wasn't really sure what else to do. Runs on pace were becoming common, but all of them were dying to Rat. Was I getting in my head too much and failing the trick off of that? Was it a choke? Was it bad luck? So many runs, so many incredible paces, only to lose them all on a 2% hit rate. And before I knew it, Dorito had cursed me long enough for Laura to catch up. But the way Laura executed this endgame, though,
Around this time, I had started implementing a new technique.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit!
One that had broken the floodgates open for progress and getting past my 4154. One that gave every run a chance. Tooth roll was an alternative method of Twilight Harbor skip that involved rolling against the tooth geometry of the inside of the Twilight Harbor head. You gained way more height, which gave you more leeway, was faster to set up, and was magnitudes more consistent to hit in the first place compared to the original form of TH skip.
Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh baby! I am a fucking god! I am a god! I am a god! This is a message to everyone at the top above me right now. Don't expect to stay where you are, because I'm not stopping for anyone.
So I was at a crossroads. Move forward, pounding my head at the wall over a 2% consistent trick, or eat the 42 seconds for something slower but more consistent.
Narf, I've been here for an hour and a half for one rat. I have not gotten a proxy yet.
And before long, I made my decision. I would be re-implementing Twilight Harbor skip. But for some odd reason, Tooth Roll didn't come to me very naturally. But at this point, I'd gotten quite consistent at the old setup, so I guess that's what we're doing. I PB'd with it before, and I could do it again, certainly.
That's what I'm fucking talking about, motherfucker!
And quite fast, I managed to get a pace that PB'd my Rat Proxy splits for the first time in over 2 months. And my first non-Rat PB since my first 42, lowering my 4035 to a 4032 on November 30th. And on December 7th, I did it again, but this time much faster.
It's okay, I can do runs with you on my lap. Try to, at least.
We got it, guys. The Bean Caves. We just got Bean Caves. First time anyone's ever gotten Bean Caves.
I don't want to interrupt her slumber.
You do your cough cough and your bless. Why are you mewing? Why are you doing the mew? Is it time to go? It's time to leave. She told me she must depart. It is time for her to go.
Okay, good, because this is actually a good run. Like, legit, this is a decent fucking run. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? What the fuck? We did it! Exclamation point church in chat! Exclamation point church, let's go!
I got a she-bee. Kitty percent Spyro world record, retaking what was at the time 9th place from Laura by 3 seconds. So the meta changed again. If the run was 38.25 or faster, I'd rat, unless it was 37.42 or faster. Then I would try for Twilight Harbor skip to get my 39, as 37.42 was the slowest the run could be to still get a 39 using that strategy.
I genuinely have to level with you. The cat is cute, but it didn't even come close to how I felt about being bopped back to you. It lit a fire in me that never quite went out.
Oh, fuck. It's a Christmas miracle, bitch! Fuck!
On Christmas Eve, though, Christmas came early for Laura, as she once again bopped my 4015 with a 4010 of her own.
The Christmas Miracle clip is a classic, and to be even closer to my goal time was inspiring.
On January 3rd, 2022, Laura got this run.
And we made the thing. Okay. Oh, okay, it's a little bit faster than my PB. Woo! 2301. 336 Beastmakers, huh? Oh shit, what is this? Is it? Oh.
1 second.
It doesn't get much closer than this, really. This run was definitive proof that I could do it. One slightly better line, a couple less missed gems, a few less bonks. Any one of those amendments could have made the sub 40 happen for me.
It looked over for me. My battle with her was a losing one, unless I could pull off a rat. But at this point, I was over 40 paces lost to rat. Mind you, if any of those were PB pace, I would just skip out on rat and go for TH skip. But I was still gonna go for it. I was too close to concede and accept defeat. I wasn't done. Until Laura did it.
Well, unbeknownst to me, about halfway through Jacques, I started dropping frames. I started dropping a lot of frames. I was so engrossed and focused on the run that I didn't even notice. I first noticed that something was wrong when I got first try tooth roll on sub 40 pace, and absolutely nothing was happening in chat. I was slowly but surely losing connection, and as fate would have it, the instant I started flying into the nasty fight, the VOD cut off. I ended up splitting the run at a very high 39.59, but without the VOD to retime it, I could never tell whether or not it was truly my first sub 40. It must have been by a matter of frames, and I would never, ever know the answer.
Whether it was fate or whether it was a string of odd luck, it gave me a chance to fight back at Laura's expense. And during the first week of January, I had this run. Let's put this into perspective. This wasn't just a 39 pace exiting Beastmakers. This run was starting to flirt dangerously close to 38 pace. A perfect Dreamweavers and Nasty's world with a first try rat would put this run at 38.59 or 39 flat. And, you know, the least I can say is that I took the L like a champ.
No! I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot, guys. I'm a fucking moron. I'm so sorry. That was my fault. It's okay. It's okay. I'm disappointed, but it's okay.
On January 11th, 2022, I put out this run.
Oh! Y'all gotta admit that was fucking dope. Y'all gotta admit that was fucking spicy, right? Oh man, I'm such a fucking god gamer. Oh my god, that was fucking... I didn't realize he was gonna go back in on that. That was weird. Oh, god damn it, dude. It's fucking rat. What do you say? What do you say, motherfucker? What do you fucking say now? Yeah, fuck rat. Fuck rat, right?
So close, but once again, for the 50th time, lost to rat. I get another grind the next day though, as I was off work, and to say I felt like I was close to a breakthrough was an understatement. As if in sync, on January 12th, 2022, both Laura and I started up speedrun streams to grind anypercent for 39.
During this time, it definitely felt uncertain. Anytime I saw Eyebolt go live, I wondered why I also wasn't live doing the same thing. Literally any run from either of us could have ended our race then and there. I really had to get my foot on the gas if I wanted it first.
And right away, first run of the day, I got on a run, executing all the early game tricks, nailing bite caves.
We have a run. Have a run.
And surviving the hard level gauntlet to put myself on another low 39 pace. But this time, for the first time, it was fast enough to Twilight Harbor skip my way to 39. This was my chance, my first sub 3742 Dreamweaver's exit. All I had to do was...
Well, it's alright.
Okay, Rat then. Rat it is. I had arrived at this point below the 3824 threshold now 51 times, without ever once being fast enough to Twilight Harbor skip my way to a 39. I'd come close, but never quite there. But what could possibly be different about this one? This run hardly deserved it. It couldn't possibly... There comes a point in speedrunning any game when one should deem something simply too hard and give up then and there. The robotic monotony and repetition under pressure giving way back to humanity.
An outsider's perspective of speedrunning is just what you see published at the end of the day, the highlight, without the context of the body of work that goes into it.
I stood at this precipice staring down these CRT interlaced polygons that vaguely resemble a rat for months now. And while he had become my true end boss in the context of the game, that's a facade, and is simply personifying an inanimate object to dodge the truth. The truth is that the end boss was me, and I was fighting against myself to keep going.
And at the end of the day, the only loser is the one whose story ended without being finished, without the satisfying conclusion of overcoming yourself to accomplish your goals.
Speedrunning channels can be seen as boring to some, and the pop-offs are few and far between. But it's moments like this that make the grind worth it.
The leaderboard has one world record,
but every position tells a story. This is speedrunning.
This is it, motherfucker! Let's go! This is a fucking 39, baby!
Oh my god.
It's done! It's done!
January 12th, 2022 is regarded, at least in my eyes and as my memory serves me, as one of the greatest days in Spyro anypercent history. It was the first time a changing of the guard was shown at the top ranks. New runners who poured their heart and soul into the game paid off in two fresh faces under the 40 mark. At this point though, I'd been hard set on this one goal for a while, and I wanted to take a short break after, but at this point, I kind of knew in the back of my mind that I was cooked, and this 39.46 is my last PB to date, riding this a little over 4 years later. And the 39s poured in following this. Two new faces hitting 39 in the weeks following our Rivalry's destination.
Both of us landing the 39 definitely opened the floodgates. We were both the first new Spyro runners to land such a coveted minute barrier in any percent, and our PBs were definitive proof that you didn't need to be playing since 2013 to achieve an amazing time. Hard work, determination, and a competitive spirit will get you there. It really ended up being a new beginning for the category.
On the other hand, Laura continued her grind, becoming the second person behind Deoman to achieve a 37-minute run in any percent.
After my 39, I felt more motivated than I ever had. With the mental barrier lifted off of me, my improvements came hard and fast. I wanted world record at this point, and nothing was gonna get in my way.
Fuck, dude! There's no way! Come on! Come on, dude! 37.58!
Then just days later completing her goal to become a world record holder in the any percent category.
Oh my god. No! Oh my fucking god! Oh my god! This is it! This is fucking it! Yes! Yes! Yes!
I still hold this day in the highest regard. This was the day I proved to myself I could climb the highest heights and do whatever I set my heart to. There's not much to be said about this world record really, just that so many years of hard work, passion, theory crafting, and effort had finally paid off in a spectacular way. It's the accomplishment I hold nearest and dearest to myself, and likely always will.
As you can clearly see by the huge differences in these leaderboards, anypercent, a category thought to be dead when I started my grind, now teemed with life. New optimizations were coming and coming fast, and Laura right now sits in 3rd place with a 36-minute and 48-second run.
My 36 is amazing. I always thought the 36 was a pipe dream that would happen maybe once, but with recent improvements to the route, advents such as the practice codes and better practice routines, there are 3 of us now with 36s of our own. I intend to keep improving mine, and by the time this video is out, I may have done it already. I stream at twitch.tv/Lumilaura 5 days a week.
World record on anypercent is something I never dreamed I'd be able to achieve personally, as at this point I've made my peace that 39 was the best I'm willing to deliver. But maybe I'll come back to 120% to best my mid-ass hour 39 at some point. After my PB, I did come back to anypercent a few times, but even though I had a few good runs, I realized I was just content to leave well enough alone. And to this date, my 39.46 is still a top 20 time on the leaderboard, and it is the only speedrun I still have publicly viewable on this channel, while all of my PBs have migrated over to my VODs channel. I tried a few runs in Vortex, gave up on that pretty quick, and did a couple of meme category runs, but since then I've just kind of moved on to other things. I am, though, happy to finally tell this story, which is but one of many stories of speedrunning. The story of a forgotten rivalry that reignited a category.
I've never seen that.
But wait.
Wait, what?
This story is not over.
Mex, you already closed me out. I already gave my socials. What are you doing?
You thought we were done, but we aren't. I said, like, however many minutes ago that I wanted to do something no one else ever did.
Are you for real?
But we really didn't cover that, did we?
Are you for real right now?
Because I did do something no one else did. And I'm not talking about the silly gimmick of do a Spyro 120% run in fursuit, because anyone could do that if I put the fursuit head on them. And I'm not talking about be the first person to execute a Rat Proxy in a marathon, because I know, even though I was the first to do it, I am not the only person that has ever done it. Hi, Laura. A feat so obscure and strange that you can't find it on the leaderboards. You can't find it on the category extensions. Hell, you can't even find it in the Google Sheet for weird meme categories that the community keeps track of. To properly present what I did that no one else has ever done and probably will ever do, my true legendary mark on Spyro speedrunning, we have to talk about Laura's bounty.
My bounty? Oh, wait, you mean the one I put up for someone to find a new and more consistent way into the nasty fight because I got so tired of Rat Proxy and Coveless?
That's the one. So tell us a little bit about that bounty.
Yeah, so in early 2023, I was so unbelievably sick of losing paces to Rat Proxy that I opened a $200 bounty which quickly spiked up to $500 for anyone who could find a more consistent method of getting into Nasty Nork early whilst skipping Delbin and Nork Cove. A strat hunter named Days Bagabones ended up answering the call, and whilst nothing quite consistent enough to meet the criteria was found, an alternative strategy which ended up being about as hard as Coveless was discovered, aptly named Boneless. It involves 2 back-to-back unit-perfect scenery boosts in order to make a super tight glide onto the Nork Cove portal, in which you can get into the Nasty Head. It really sucks, but it's so cool to look at.
So in 2023, going on an anypercent revival grind with the goal of 38 or possibly even world record, I was on a middling pace. You know, high 40, low 41 with a rat, and like you, Laura, Dorito was pissing me off, as he usually does. So this run was already dead. So I got in Boneless only a single time in practice, and I knew it was non-viable. So, I decided why the fuck not?
Are you fucking kidding me?
This is my most viewed clip on Twitch. Boneless is too hard to execute consistently, too inconsistent to be run viable, and Rat Proxy has had new optimizations that make it at least 10 times more consistent than it was before, and above all, Boneless isn't even that fast, comparable in time save to that of the Woglide method Tuval used. So I am, without any doubt, the only person to have a sub 45-minute run with the stupid and inconsistent Coveless method nobody likes and nobody will ever use, Boneless. That's my legendary mark and I'm sticking to it. My name is Mex. Take it, Weasel.